Mic on.
Hello, testing, testing. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah, that's a bit better. Shall we just end the countdown and start the stream right now? Let's go for it. So today is a slightly different stream. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And this is if you haven't seen this before, this is just a loading screen. Well, the flight I'm going to do today is, let's get rid of these clouds. The flight I'm going to do today is from Manchester in the UK to Newquay. Set that as departure for the time being. Which is down here, and it actually comes up St Mawgan Air Base. It's Newquay International, but it's a shared base with the Royal Air Force. So just put that as arrival. What aircraft are we going to use? What time is it? Let's go for the TBM. Let's go for the TBM. Weight and balance. So instead of doing direct GPS, I'll do low altitude. Don't want it that high. That's a bit better. We'll do that. We'll do that. That looks all right. So EGCC all the way to EGHQ. That's the route we're going to take. We've got various waypoints in between. That'll change depending on what type you use. Say it's going to take us an hour to get there, which is about the right time I've got. Waypoints are loaded in. I'm just going to change the destination. So let's start at one of these. On 6 flight conditions, should we just go? We'll set it on today's date, but we will do. Oh yeah, I quite like the broken clouds preset, but what I tend to do is once I'm in game, just kind of raise the clouds a little bit. I think I'm happy the way we're going. Yeah, it'll still be light when we land. Yep, let's go for this then. Let's do this. Yeah, so I intend to stream on Microsoft Flight Simulator and on DCS World, but this is very much a test stream for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I've done a few streams on DCS the other day, got some really good feedback on what I'm doing wrong, how to improve. I really like the community actually. There's some communities you get involved in, so like the PC building community and a motorbike community that I'm in, and they all offer different types of feedback depending on community members. But the streaming community seems really good. So yeah, I got a couple of hints on audio. I still need to adjust the audio. I think I still need to put some filters on. I'm just using this mic from the headset. It's not the best, I know, but go with that for the time being. So this is what we're going to be flying today, the TBM 930. I haven't flown Microsoft Flight Simulator for probably about 2 weeks now, so I'm a little bit rusty. But this is this is the TBM 930. It's a turboprop, pretty fast, but a single engine turboprop. So this is it. Should we do it properly? When I um, do this normally, it normally doesn't work. So I've looked at the checklist. So yeah, that's why it doesn't work, because I can't never be bothered doing the checklist. So this is inside the cockpit. 4-seater plane. Normally used in, you can use it in a cargo capacity as well. So, tell you what, let's get the show on the road. So you move the crash bar up, you put that to battery, you select that to battery, set main generator, turn on engine starter, put that to auto, ignition auto, I want that on auto, I want that on. Turn some lights on. I don't need that on.
Takeoff runway 23 left climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.775 squawk 0025.
Okay.
Docker Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo cleared to Echo Golf Hotel Quebec Airport is filed. Takeoff runway 23 left flying and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure on 118.775 squawk 0025.
So what? 6,000 feet. Get that set.
Contact ground on 121.705 when ready to taxi.
Manchester Ground Docker Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo requesting pushback.
Dare Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo pushback request accepted.
Put this. We don't need that actually. GPS. So we've got 2.9 miles to the first waypoint. We can see that here. As you can see as well, I've got just auto air traffic control on to make things a bit easier for me. We will put, I like having the wind on, option 3. So it gives us a windage figure here. Managed to get that going. Turn to that. So that's going to be the initial routing out of here. Just getting pushed back now. Never liked them pulse lights. Off. Putting them on. To taxi lights on. That's a bit better. Now it should get request to stop at some point by the co-pilot, but it doesn't look like that's happening. There we go, it's about to happen.
Manchester Ground Docker Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo requesting the end of pushback.
Dare Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo request to end pushback received.
Manchester Ground Docker Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo with mind ready to taxi IFR.
Dare Tango Hotel Uniform November Delta Echo Romeo
Sorry,
Charlie
trim.
Romeo taxi to and hold short of runway 23 left via taxiway cross runway 23 right alpha. Contact tower on 119.405
Flaps now.
ready.
Taxiing hold
Straight
short
way we
runway
going.
23 left via taxiway cross runway 23 right alpha Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo.
So as I've only got a GTX 1080 where I'm still waiting for my new graphics card to come in, I'm running 4040p, but I'm running them on the medium settings, and I haven't got an FPS counter up, but I normally get about between 40 and 50. This game's not quite optimized yet, but then again, it is a graphics intense game. Once it's up in the air, actually I'll show you what my settings are. So just taxiing out now. So I have had some flying lessons in real life. I've gone solo, about 20 hours, but it was a couple of years ago. Let's say that it was about 7 years ago when I had my last lesson. It's quite expensive to fly in the UK. Luckily enough, I was getting most of it paid for by the Royal Air Force. I used to be in the Royal Air Force, so they allowed me to get it heavily discounted. So I've had a few lessons. Yeah, I got about 22 hours flying. So I know a little bit, not professing to know a lot. I'm not perfect. Leave it on that. Yeah, so I know a little bit. Yeah, I might raise that cloud base up just a little bit, so be quite cinematic for taking off. But when we're flying, I don't know if you'd actually be able to see much of the scenery, so it might be worth me putting the cloud base up just a little bit. You'll get to see more, maybe some sights that you recognise along the way. I don't expect this stream will get a lot of views. I know. Oh, quite dark actually. Let me turn the light on.
Hotel uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo at runway 23 left ready for takeoff Aquar to Echo Golf Hotel Quebec.
Delta Tango Hotel uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo.
That might be better.
Takeoff runway 23 left.
So clear to take off. Nothing on the inbound. Let's just check this map. No, nothing there. Let's go. I still need to sort out the throttle axis in this. It seems to be I've got to move it to 50% before 50% throttle before go anywhere. And then from like 50 to 70, it seems to be a very short action. So what I'm trying to say is when I'm at like 70% throttle, it seems to be like 100% of the engine. It's a very short stroke. I need to do some tuning there. So I've got my altitude set. I'll set that for about 1500 foot a minute. Anything else? No, that'll do. Probably not right. Don't intend to be perfect. Want to lift already? We all airborne. Gear up. Flaps up. And away we go. So your dampener on, autopilot on, and nav mode.
Delta Romeo Charlie Romeo contact Manchester Center on 118.
So I'm going to put the ice on because we are going to be going into some clouds shortly.
Manchester Center Docker Tango Hotel uniform November Delta Echo Romeo Charlie Romeo is at 1,200 feet, climbing 6,000 feet.
Docker Tango Hotel uniform November Delta
There we are.
Romeo Charlie Romeo Manchester Center continuous plan.
Yeah, so we've got Manchester Airport just there. Yeah, see what I'm saying about the cloud base already? Let me just higher it up a touch. Get to see more.
Generic 14 India, you are flight
Yeah, so this Manchester Airport here.
Contact Hamilton Tower on 124.9 or 55 when inbound.
This, I believe, this is the M6. This is north. This is south. A556, I believe.
Tower on 124.9 or 55 generic 14 India.
On the way we go. So it's at about an estimated flight time of about an hour. About an hour. Sounded like a journey then. Yeah, about an hour down to Newquay. Just double checking everything now. Put that on auto, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, this is it now basically. This is climbing to 6,000 feet, where we will get instructions. We probably won't go to Manchester Centre at that point.
Delta Romeo Charlie Romeo.
I'm gonna maintain 12,000. Set 12.
Climb and maintain 12,000 feet. Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo.
We've got flight level climb with this. No, we haven't. Just drop that down to. So I'll do an 1800 per minute ascent rate. See what we can see outside. But this is the River Mersey. You can just about see Liverpool Airport just there. Trying to stay away from that sun glare. Do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sun up, not that far. I'm up there's probably the right lighting. Give it a better. Right, no, it's still a bit low, isn't it?
Delta Romeo Charlie Romeo 5 and maintain flight level 180.
That's a bit better. Yeah, so there's Liverpool Airport there.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo.
So he wants me to go to flight level 180, which is 18,000 feet. Yeah, so it's -3 up here already, so you can see the airframe, the ice is just coming on, the prop de-ice is on, windshield heat's on, and of course I've got my pitot heaters on. Ground speed at 227 knots. Wind is... says the wind's coming from the southwest at 12 knots. Just passing 10,000 feet now, so we can turn the... I should have had my landing lights on when I took off. I'm going to leave... No, I'm going to turn them off. Put that back. This is what I find hard in this one. So the torque's here 102. I'm bringing my throttle back ever so slightly. There you go, 100, 99. And then what I'll do is I'm going to tighten up my throttle friction so it stays the same. But see how it's just creeping up again? I'll bring it back again. That'll do 99, 94. Give it a little bit more whilst we're in the climb. So looking at the map, zoom in a bit more. Yeah, this is where we took off from. This is the route that we took so far. Going to Newquay. Climbing to 18,000 feet. We have got 4.6 miles, 4.5 miles to Newquay, and then we're going to the next waypoint. I think it'll be less than an hour. See where we took off from? Don't think you can quite see. See, this is where low down the graphics look amazing, but I think because it's trying to render in such a large area at a time, this is where my graphics card struggles. Just above 10,000 feet it starts to look a bit, the quality is just not the same. See Chester around here. That, in fact, there's Chester Airport there. That's where the Airbus wings are made for the all the Airbuses. See that torque setting just creeped up again. I haven't touched my throttle. And I'm just going to decrease the rate of climb because you can see we're losing speed here slightly. So I'll just set it to 1500 foot a minute. As long as we're not losing speed, I'm happy. Just a fine balance. The lighting in this in the cloud is really good. Text someone a sec. Let them know I'm streaming. I've just finished a night shift this morning, so hence the reason I'm not at my, well, I'm looking a bit dishevelled. I'm absolutely knackered, to be honest. So the next point we're going to get is 23 points. Yeah, this is what I don't get. I set it, what did I set it to? Was it 12, was it? It took me up before it's going to bring me back down again. I think that's me doing something wrong in the settings. What I can do though is I can request an increase of, say, 5.
Manchester Center, Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo. Request flight level 200.
Delta Romeo Charlie Romeo.
Alright, okay, so he wants me to climb straight away to 20,000. Sometimes they expect you to go down before you come up again.
Climb and maintain flight level 200 Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo.
So there you go, 200, vertical speed, and we are going to go up. And let's just put it 1,000 foot a minute, so we're still accelerating. Let's go through the clouds now. Says there, over Knocking Airstrip. Got no idea where that is. Let's have a look on the map where we are. So we're kind of approaching mid Wales now. Nitton will be mid Wales. Well, let's have a look and see if we recognise the roads. This is Birmingham. This is the M54, I think it is. Motorway 54. So this would be Shrewsbury, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we are west of Shrewsbury, which you're not going to see because of the clouds. So let's tell you what, let's move this cloud up even more. So it's 20,000. So that's that like that. Does that look better? No, it looks worse, doesn't it? Right. So let's cover up my poor graphics card by putting some cloud in the way. That's a bit better. There we go. Yes, that's where we're headed now. Won't take as long to get there at all. So this is Shrewsbury here, yeah, so that's another RAF camp, I believe. That was, can't remember, it's a helicopter training base, I think. So yeah, airspeed 210 knots, which, because we're at altitude now, it gives us a ground speed of 280 knots. It's minus 24 degrees outside. Spanky banky one, I like that. There you go, we're just coming up to 20,000 feet now. Gonna zoom this map out a little bit so you can keep track. I might get on and stream later, I might do a DCS stream later. Probably not, to be fair. So there you go, we've just passed Nitton now. And we have got 140 miles to reaching the destination. You can just see South Wales here coming into view, you can see the Bristol Channel, and you can just see Devon and Cornwall off there in the distance. Yeah, it's a really good weather engine in this game. The amount of fine details you can customise just to get it just how you want. See, this is what I'm saying, this is what lets it down. But I honestly don't think this is Microsoft Flight Sim, I think this is my current setup. So I've got a, what am I running? Intel 8700K. Slight overclock on it, I mean stock it's 3.7 gigahertz I believe. I think I'm running 4.5. I know they can get up to about 5, so I haven't pushed it all the way. I've had difficulties when I've pushed it all the way, so I've knocked it right back down again. To be honest, the CPU usage now is only 37%. I can see it on a little monitor I've got here, so it's not taxing the CPU, it'll be taxing the GPU. I have got 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RGB Pro RAM at 3600 megahertz. I have got a GTX ROG Strix 1080, which I am waiting for another graphics card to come in. I've pre-ordered the RTX Strix 3080 the day it got released, and I'm still waiting for it. I know I'm 107th on the list on where I bought it from, so I'm just waiting for that. CPU's cooled by an NZXT X, I think it's an X62. It's a 280 NIO, and it's on a RG Strix Z370 motherboard. I'm just looking at it now, trying to remember, and I've got it in a Lian Li 011 Dynamic XL case with 6 additional Corsair fans. For peripherals, I'm using a Corsair wireless keyboard. I think it's a K57 or K67. I think it's a 57 keyboard. I had a wired keyboard, and just the wires I don't like a messy setup. The setup's as messy as it is without having wires for keyboards and mice. So I've got a Corsair, I think it's called a Dark Rock Core Pro SE or something like that it's called, wireless mouse, and I'm using Logitech's X56 HOTAS for Flight Sim and for DCS. And I've got a Elgato Stream Deck XL, which I got last week. Been in work, my first day off today, and I haven't got a clue how to use it. So it's there on in the background, but it's not doing much. And I've got the Corsair headset, which is I think it's a Void, Corsair Void. So as you can see, we're well over mid Wales now. Not much to show you around the cockpit. Let's have a look. So fuel quantity is balanced. That's so for those who don't know, this is the fuel quantity gauges here, and this is fuel in each side of the aircraft, mostly in the wings. So if you don't select this button here, fuel select, in auto, if you don't select that, you've got to constantly balance the fuel tanks here. So I just select auto, it makes things a lot easier. Flap lever, throttle lever. This is emergency manual override for the fuel, we don't need to worry about that. That's about it. Oh, this is what this is what I like. They haven't animated a lot of stuff, and a lot of the buttons and knobs don't like kind of do anything. You've got enough there to you know, you can fly to different places, but I love the fact that they've animated the heating and fan controls. So you get, I'm a little bit cold, so I'll turn the temperature up, just turn the fan on a little bit, just so you know, just so I'm warm on these cold December days. So it's not in December no more, is it? January, we've gone past the New Year. So in the past. Yeah, so you can really see south coast of Wales now, which is just this coming across. And I say Devon and Cornwall are just here. We are what, 108 miles to the destination and about 21 minutes away. It's not too bad. So I've been gone for 40 minutes, so yeah, just under 37 minutes I've been going for, so yeah, it'll be about an hour flight. ...305 knots across the ground. This is why I like this aircraft so much, because it's fast. Once you've taken off, you feel like you get to places quickly, but it's not as fast as a jet if you're doing short range, whereby you're just constantly busy doing something, you don't get a chance to take stuff in. Yeah, so it's quick enough, definitely, and because it's a turboprop, you can land them in quite rough circumstances where you'd never been able to, so you can land them in shorter runways. Yeah, so you can see the wind here. You can see the wind's only at 12 knots, but you can see it's pushing the aircraft that way. That's how the aircraft little symbol is steering into the wind a little bit to follow this path. So it's the direction we should be taking. We're actually offset slightly just because of that wind at 12 knots. It's when you get really high up and you're getting a tailwind of like 100 knots and really going for it. Oh, miserable weather outside. We're in the middle of a storm again in the UK. Possible risk of flooding. Not being able to ride my motorbike anytime soon. Ugh. Yeah, so you can see the coast approaching now, South Wales. So that's, you can see. So we are in the heart of the valleys, the Welsh valleys. In fact, we've just gone past them. somewhere. There they are. Won't be too long till we get there now. Don't know what airport that is. Cardiff? St. Athan? I don't know. I much more prefer streaming on DCS rather than Microsoft Flight Simulator. DCS is there's a lot more going on. You can, you know, you're dropping bombs. You're always planning for the next thing. It's very rare that you're sitting still. In DCS, that's like you've seen me on my phone and on stuff messing around, and just don't do that on DCS. You don't get a chance. If you're not planning to drop a bomb, you're trying to avoid enemy fire or watching your fuel levels, or you might have to look for a tanker, and then you've got to program your TACAN in. And although DCS hasn't got the high fidelity of the air traffic control and approach and stuff, I think the game's amalgamated together, which will never happen, but you know, that's like the ultimate flight simulator in total. I know we're getting military aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator soon, but they won't be able to fire missiles and rockets and guns, so they're there to just fly around, and I'll just do that in DCS. So, what do they call it? We're going feet wet as we're going over water shortly. Yeah, depending on what type of approach they'll give us at Newquay, depending on how interesting the landing will be effectively. But if they give us anything, in fact what I'll do is I'll make them give us a decent approach. There you go. So you won't be able to see nothing now, but that's the whole point. They might give us something other than a visual approach. Try that. So you can see how that's completely changed the clouds already. There's nothing really to show you now as we're going over the coast anyway, down the coast. This can will get replaced with some beers later on. I like the little touches how you can change your tail number. So I can't fit Thundercracker on, so it's just Thundercracker. But then it changes the nameplate inside the aircraft as well, so you've got the little Thundercracker there. But again, if you change it, it'll just reflect whatever you've changed it to. So he's bringing me down to 10,000 now.
Descend and maintain 10,000 feet. Docker Romeo Charlie Romeo.
We'll set 10,000. And we'll tell it to descend. Now I'm going the wrong way. Now we'll just do 1,000 feet a minute. We are 12 minutes out, so 10,000, so I need to do more because 1,000 feet a minute means it'll take me 10 minutes to get down, and the airport is only 12 minutes away. So what I need to do is increase the rate of descent, which will bring the speed up. You can see this little purple bar there, that means the speed's increasing, and by what factor. So then this is the absolute top limit, so what we'll start doing is we'll start throttling back a little bit. And throttling back also it'll decrease the speed, but it helps keep the plane level as you descend. Oh, there you go.
Descend and maintain 3,500 feet. Keep speed below 210 knots. Expect ILS runway 30
So that
approach via November Quebec Yankee transition. Cleared to November Quebec Yankee.
So that's a lot to take in there. So basically, descend and maintain 3,000 feet, which I've done. I've just set that. Keep speed below 210 knots. So as you can see, I'm over that at the minute, so I'll have to reduce it. ILS runway 30 approach via Newquay transition, and I'm cleared to Newquay. So you come down here. Let's move this out of the way. It's give me that quite early actually. So what we can do is you can go procedures, arrival. So we're going into sometimes it does this, approach ILS 30, so we need to change that to ILS 30, transition Newquay. So we'll just load it for now, see what it gives us. So it's given us this, which it does quite a lot actually, which is the weird thing, because that was the last waypoint, it's trying to take us back to that waypoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take nav off, and I'll turn it to heading of somewhere around there, select heading. Let it sort itself out. Yeah, so if anyone knows how to get round this problem, let me know. Yeah, so it goes off the last waypoint, so even though programmed it in, so this last waypoint from Niton to Echo Golf Hotel Quebec is here. Because that was my last waypoint, it's programmed this approach from that last waypoint, so it sends you back to that waypoint to then come back down here again, which I'm not doing because there's no point. So what it was doing beforehand was, let me just zoom in. So I don't know if you can quite see that at the minute, but it's giving me different routing to the airport. So 202 wasn't a bad guess actually. So it'll bring me different routing to the airport. So you see how it's trying to do this now. So even if I do that or that, it's still not giving me the routing I want to go. So again, it's coming from my user point here, which is me, to Newquay transition, and it's saying I'm going further away from it, but I'm actually going closer to it because it's trying to send me back via that. So it's just annoying, I suppose. Dad, bless him. He's he bought a, don't know if everyone's seen them, you know, like the hive bulbs and the thermostat. I told him to buy one ages ago. So he goes and buys one, then figures out he can't connect it to his boiler because the boiler's too old. So it's been sat there for about 2 years, and now they've got a new boiler now, my mum and dad, and I think he's looking to install it all today. And it's quite easy to do, but I must admit the instructions when I was doing mine are quite difficult. I think it would have been more beneficial for me if I would have had someone with me, but I'll once I've done this stream, I'll ring my dad up and tell him what he's doing. He's just asking, do I need a Hive hub? Fairly certain he got it with the with everything that came in the box with it. I certainly got mine there. So it said below 210 knots. I'm doing 185, which to me is I go a little bit quicker. So I'll just try and get it around 200. Still descending now, 11,500 feet. And we've got to ignore this now, because that doesn't give us our distance completely, which makes it hard judging if I need to descend more or less. Obviously, if you was a pilot, you would have calculated this out already, and you also wouldn't have this problem. But I'm hoping once I pass, so the route it's going to take me, in fact, does it load it up in this map? It might be better. Can you see that? So the route it's going to take me is overhead Newquay Airport, and then I will follow this, and it'll bring me in like that, and then that'll give me the correct bearings onto the runway. So I'm hoping once I overpass Newquay, I can load it up again, and it should give me the final bearings using nav mode. Hopefully. Probably won't work like that, but you never know. Game's still very much in development. I mean, it looks absolutely stunning. You can see a little bit of ice forming on the aircraft there, just as we've descended through that last cloud layer, and you can see that on the prop and around the intake. And again, some aircraft get affected more by ice than others. This one seems to be gets affected quite a lot. Just ahead slightly. So I'm just trying to do some calculations in my head. No, I'm going to leave that rate of descent in. I think that'll be fine. Sorry, I think my dad's in a panic. Dad. To 5,000. Yeah, we're going to be alright, descent rate wise.
Romeo, Charlie, Romeo, contact approach on 133.0.
So what you'd normally do now is you'd normally go on PFD. No, you wouldn't. You'd normally do navcom and you type in 133405. So I'd go 133405, and then you transit that across, and then that becomes the com channel that you use from that point onwards. It's a lot. It's a lot to do when you're just flying by yourself. So I'll just leave that as is. Yeah, so as I'm approaching 3,500 feet now, you'll see my speed drop because I've throttled back during the descent, so I'll just give it a little bit more throttle. And you're limited to 250 knots below 10,000 feet, so as long as I don't exceed 250 below 10,000. But they did say to me, air traffic control said don't exceed 210. So that's all I've got to do. Keep it below 210. So as you can see, I'm really in the thick of this weather now. So because he's given me the approach, that might be a bit better, so you can sort of get a bit of reference of where we're going. Here's north coast of Cornwall. That little thing, by the way, is the weather radar. So what you can do is you can click on weather here, and you can see the weather for the area, and that's coming off that weather radar. Now normally in jets they're in the nose cone of the aircraft, but we haven't got that luxury here because we've got the engine there instead. So that's why that little thing's on that wing and not on that wing. You only need one. Yeah, so that's the waypoint I want. So that's coming because I've programmed the approach in. It's programmed it all into nav1 for me. So what I'm going to do is just fly over there, and then when I'm on a heading now, so the autopilot is referencing the heading. So I've set it to 215 degrees, as you can see there, and it is flying a constant 215 degrees. If you've got waypoints loaded in, and you select nav, I'm sure you know this, but if you select nav, it'll follow the waypoints that you've loaded. But this is my glide slope here as well, so this says it's only got a 3-degree glide slope, so as you're approaching the aircraft it's like a 3-degree descent. It can be slightly more and slightly less. So this little thing here tells you the glide slope you're going to be on, so I'm going to completely ignore that until we are on this sort of leg of the approach, because that's saying I need to be. So that's saying I'm slightly too low, but that's the ideal glide slope. As the glide slope indicator comes down to level, which it'll do now. So that says I'm good there, but now because I'm flying level, I'm going above the glide slope. Again, I am not a pilot and don't intend to teach people things. This is more for people who aren't pilots, who've never played the game before but are interested in getting the game and learning some very basics. You can see all the ice just come off now because I've descended below the clouds and I've got my heating system on. In fact, what I might do is, because we don't need it no more, so I'll turn it off. I will, however, leave the windshield, and well, no, yeah, I'll turn the windshield off, but we'll definitely leave the PO heaters on. Your pitot heaters, if you're not from a aviation background as well, your pitot heaters are, let me see if I can find them on the aircraft. That is one. Well, that's your pitot tubes. There's normally a few. You've got static ones along the side of the aircraft as well normally. They're aerials, don't worry about them. There I am. Yeah, so the pitot heaters, that's how you measure the airspeed of the aircraft. So it takes the static pressure and the pressures that's coming into the pitot tube, and it can work out your airspeed from that. So it's less than 5 miles away now, so you can start seeing it now. So these are the wind turbines. They're still below 210 knots. Power lever set to 48%, 35% fuel remaining. And in fact, I started on 50% fuel and it went to 35%, so I've used 15% of fuel obviously. But if I would have been higher up, we would have got a better fuel burn. Send and maintain 2,500, so we'll program that in. Oh, I'm only going to set it to about 800 feet a minute because we've still got this long way to go here. So this is the direction it wants me to turn in, but it doesn't want me. Oh, might not just do that. Ignore me, ignore me. So has it? No, it hasn't worked. Right, let's do the heading. Let's do a ILS approach manually. It didn't work. So what I'll do to give myself more time, I'll just bring the throttle back a little bit. Can't really see much from inside the cockpit other than straightforward. So we're near enough down to 2,500 already. See, this might actually work now because I've got that programmed in. It's saying I am southwest of the ideal trajectory, which is true because of that. Let's bring the speed back some more. That'll be the A30 through Cornwall. Won't drop the gear just yet. What if I do nav and approach now? This might work, by the way, but it might also not, so that starts. No, do you know what? We'll just leave it go as it is. Yeah, we're just gonna cut this corner. So I've just selected land the gear down, so that's coming down. Now, is this going to work? So what this should be is I should be on the glide slope without me having to do anything, and it should always bring me in at the correct angle as well, which it looks like it's going to capture, to be honest with you. So you can see the runway just out there. So I'm going to bring the throttle back some more. This white band is when we can start using the flaps. So the throttle's all the way back now. I don't really like this when I just... Flying it manually now. I'm happy that I'm visual, so I'm just going to fly it manually. Can't quite use... Back to turn your damper. Can't quite use the flaps. Well, yeah, I've just gone into flap range. Just sort and trim out. So weirdly, when you're landing, it kind of works backwards to your instinct. So if I want to go faster, I don't actually touch the throttle, I pitch down. But because I pitch down, I need to increase my rate of descent. Sorry, decrease my rate of descent, so then you throttle up. So we are just below the glide slope. We can see that two ways. This is the glide slope needle, so that's that coming down. So you never pull up to meet the glide slope, you just kind of stay as level as you possibly can. We've also got the indicator lights here, so what you're looking for is 2 yellow, 2 red. If you're seeing 3 red like I am now, you're too low. You're seeing 3 yellow or white, you're too high. So you'll see when that green diamond comes down and it's level with the aircraft, you'll see 2 white and 2 red. On stage of flaps, this will start slowing us right down, so you've got to watch the speed at this point. So that's it, pretty much on the glide slope there. You've got 2 yellow, 2 red, and it's saying I'm below again. That's because I'm close to the airport, that doesn't matter. Radar altitude, I am 70 foot and descending. I'm losing a lot of speed now, losing a little bit of throttle. So yeah, I'm coming in. No. Oh. There you go. And we've landed. And I'm using no brakes at this point, because I know where it wants me to park up. Cruising down the runway, I might as well clear the config up, so I'll raise my flaps up. Which are coming up now. They always want you to park where the aircraft are there, so I'll brake and I shall exit to the left here. Not using that taxiway. And there you go, it'll give me instructions now. So I tune to ground, press taxi to parking, and it should bring me up just round here. And what I should have done, of course, is have my landing lights on, which I never do. There you go.
Taxiing to general aviation parking using taxiway Alpha Donner Romeo Charlie Romeo.
There's a doggy here. Oh, here you go. What's the matter, mate? You got some chicken nuggets off me today, haven't you? On a stretch. Oh, just taxiing in now. The marshal is telling me to come straight forward, and I'll soon get a brakes and brakes on there, and parking brake, and that is that. That is how you fly this beast from Manchester to Newquay.
Okay.
Oh, bloody hell. And we shall turn everything off because we don't need anything on. And when I turn this off, off, turn that down. When I turn these off, that should be the end of the game. Yeah, there you go. Done. So total flight time then of 54 minutes 17 seconds, and I've got a total flight time in the game of 165 hours. And of that 165 hours, I've done 1 hour 47 at night and 163 hours during the day. I've done takeoffs, I've done 227 in the day, 3 at night, and landings is 118. So this is me getting frustrated flying basically. So I'll take off, get bored when I'm flying somewhere, and then quit the game effectively. So that's it. So thanks very much for watching, if anyone did actually watch. And there'll probably be a DCS stream soon. So take care for now. Thanks very much, and see you soon.
Mic off. Powering off.